Alright, this one is for all of my card slingers, my divination divas. Today I'm going to be talking all about tarot and tips I wish I knew when I first started reading. If you want to improve your tarot game, talk to your cards. Like, while you're doing a reading, like, speak out loud the question that you're asking. So not only will it give you a better idea of what specifically you're looking for, but it helps the cards understand more concisely the answer they should give you. Because sometimes if you're just thinking things and you're just pushing intent into the cards, your thoughts can get jumbled, and thoughts and ideas themselves are not as clear as we think they are. They're nowhere near as clear and concise as words. It's gonna make you feel like a crazy person at first, but I promise once you start doing it, it'll become easier and start to feel more natural. Tarot tips I wish I knew when I started reading, part 2. Some of y'all about to be real mad at me, but it must be said. Do not be afraid to bend your cards. I know when I first started reading, I was terrified of messing up my cards, and I only shuffled like this. Oh, hold on. Sorry, my cards just decided to drag me very briefly. My point is, these are just paper. Okay, I know a lot of us, like, our cards are very secret to us, they're very special, they're very important, but at the end of the day, they are just an extension of you. They are a vessel for your abilities. So don't let a little wear and tear make you think that it's going to affect the messages of your cards or that you're not going to be able to read as well. They're going to do just fine. I promise you. So really use that time to shuffle and get in there and work with your cards, because I found that the more you get hands-on with them, the more you're able to dial into the universe. Tarot tips I wish I knew when I first started reading, part 3. So I'm not a huge fan of big tarot spreads, specifically the one where it's like 10 to 20 cards and each position is like, this is what this position answers, this is what this position answers. It just doesn't work for me. But if I am laying out more than one card, like if it's like a personalized spread that kind of forms as the reading goes, I prefer to flip the cards one by one or pull the cards one by one. So kind of like, all right, this is my question. This is my follow-up question. That way I'm not bombarded all at once with a whole bunch of answers and images that I'm just kind of like, okay, how do I make all of this make sense? And if you combine this methodology with what I was saying in part 1, you wouldn't even really need big spreads, because then your readings would start to become more like conversations with your deck. It's a back and forth. Let your cards speak naturally and stop trying to force them into a Q&A. Tarot tips I wish I knew when I first started reading, part 4. This is probably the most important tip, and you'd think it would be the most obvious, but please, for the love of goddess, answer your question or a client's question, I don't know who you're reading for, answer it in context to the question that they asked. For example, if you ask a career or finance type of question and you pull the Lovers card, you have to interpret the message of the Lovers in the context of career or finance, because that was the question you asked. I've seen some readers do it before where they're like, well, I'm not sure what this has to do with your question, but clearly this message must be more important for you right now. No, you got that card for that question for a reason. Stunning. Okay, I'm so glad you brought this up because I don't like picking from the top either. So what I personally do is I'll shuffle, bridge, do whatever I have to do, ask my question, and whenever it comes time to pull, I will literally tilt the cards until they fall off just like that, and whatever card is right there is my answer. Another thing that I learned from a fellow reader is I'll like thumb the deck, and whenever I feel like I should stop, I'll just stop and pull the card. Or if, you know, I'm reading for someone else, I'll be like, tell me when to stop. And when they say stop, okay, there's your card. And what a lovely card to get. Oh, so stunning.